Macros is one of the most important reasons why people lose weight, and it's by far the most effective strategy for you to hit your weight loss goals. I'm going to take you step by step into our macro manipulation strategy. That way you can implement it directly into your journey, and this is the exact strategy that we've used with thousands of our clients to help them transform their bodies. But first, we need to understand, what does macros even mean?
Macros. Macro.
Macros is a group of nutrients that your body needs in large amounts for it to function optimally. Now, macros is divided into 3 categories. That's your protein, your carbs, and your fats. You need to know that 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs is equal to 4 calories. And 1 gram of fats is equal to 9 calories. On our nutrition label, the 3 most important categories that we're looking for when we're counting our macros is our total fats, our total carbs, and our total protein. But the first thing that you're gonna need is a food scale, because we're gonna be weighing out and measuring out all your foods. Now, you can get something like this from Amazon or any grocery store as well. They usually have them. I wouldn't spend more than 20 to 30 bucks. They really range in price, but something that's 20 to 30 dollars will really do you justice. I just need you to make sure that your scale has the unit tab. That way you can change between grams, ounces, milliliters, and etc. So you want to start by turning on your scale, and if you click on the unit tab, you'll notice that you can change between units, whether it's grams, ounces, and etc. Personally, I like to weigh out all my foods in grams. It just makes my life a lot easier. Next, you're gonna put a plate or a bowl, whatever you're measuring your food with, onto the scale. And then you're gonna click on the tare button, T-A-R-E, to set the scale back to 0. Now let's say I'm eating 100 grams worth of Greek yogurt. So I'm gonna put a bunch of spoons of Greek yogurt up until my scale says that it's at 100 grams. Next, I'm gonna take out my phone and I'm gonna insert the fact that I've ate 100 grams worth of Greek yogurt onto my food tracking app. Now, there's a bunch of apps out there. Personally, I like to use MyFitnessPal, but you can use what best suits you. Once I open MyFitnessPal, I'm gonna click on the Log Food tab to the bottom left, and then click Add Food, and then I can scan the label directly and the food will pop up. You wanna make sure that the serving size is 1 gram, and then you can insert the number of servings, which in this case is 100 grams. Now we'll see that 100 grams of Greek yogurt is 3.5 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fat, and 10 grams of protein. I'm going to click on the check mark at the top right and add that into my daily meals. Now, some foods you may not be able to scan because they don't have labels on them, or they're just not in the database. Now, I'm gonna show you exactly what we need to do in this case. Now, I only had turkey burgers in my fridge, so that's what we're gonna be using. So, once again, you're gonna take a plate, okay? And you're gonna pop that onto the scale. Then you're gonna click tare and set the scale back to 0. Now, you're gonna pop on whatever you're measuring, in this case, a turkey burger, and we'll see that this turkey burger weighs approximately 192 grams. Now, once again, I'm gonna open up MyFitnessPal and I'm gonna click at the bottom left and click Log Food. Then I'm gonna click on my lunch, for instance, and click on Add Food. And now you're gonna search up turkey burgers and you're gonna see a bunch of options populate. What I recommend is searching up the brand of turkey burgers. For instance, these turkey burgers are from a store called Farm Boy, so I'm gonna search up Farm Boy turkey burgers, and you'll find a more accurate search. If the option has a green check mark beside it, I would probably go with that option because it's a more accurate representation of the food. Now, another option for you is any main protein source that you can think of. You can actually search up Rahul's Fitness on MyFitnessPal, and I've actually inserted a lot of the common protein sources into MyFitnessPal with the average calories and macros for those foods to make your life a little easier. So once again, you'll click on the food and then you'll set the serving size to 1 gram. And then for the number of servings, in this case was 192 grams. Click on the check mark at the top right and you'll see that the turkey burger is 384 calories, 20 grams of carbs, 16.5 grams of fat, and 35.7 grams of protein. So just a quick recap of everything. You'll see that macro counting is really not that difficult. Once you understand what a protein, a carb, and a fat is, it makes your life that much easier. Now the last thing I want to go over is how to calculate your macros. Now this is going to be the fun part. Step 1 is calculating your calories. You're going to take your current body weight in pounds, multiply that number by 12, and you'll get your total daily calories that you need to be intaking daily for you to be in a calorie deficit. So in this example, we're gonna say you weigh 160 pounds. We're then gonna multiply that number by 12, and that will equal 1,920 calories that we need to be intaking daily. Now remember what we discussed at the beginning of this video. 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. And 1 gram of carbs is equal to 4 calories. Now to break down your calories into macros, we're gonna start by calculating your protein. Now, in order for us to calculate your protein, what you wanna do is take your body weight in pounds, multiply that number by 0.82, and that will give you your total daily protein intake in grams. So in this case, we're gonna say that we weigh 160 pounds. You're then gonna multiply that number by 0.82, and that will give you your total daily protein intake in grams. Now remember that every gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. So we're gonna take 131 grams of protein, multiply that number by 4, and that will give us 524 calories that we intake for just our protein. Now, to calculate your total daily fat intake, what you're going to be doing is taking your body weight in pounds and multiplying that number by 0.35. And that'll give you your total daily fat intake in grams. So in this case, you weigh 160 pounds, you multiply that number by 0.35, and that'll give us 56 grams of fat that we intake daily. Now remember that every gram of fat is 9 calories. So we take 56 grams of fat, multiply that number by 9, and that gives us 504 calories that we intake daily just off our fat. So now we'll notice, off of our total daily calories, 1,920 calories, we've eaten 524 calories from protein, 504 calories from fats, and that now leaves us with 892 calories left for our carbs. So now to calculate our carbs, it's honestly super simple. What you're going to do is you're gonna take this 892, because that's the remaining calories that we have left, and we're gonna divide that number by 4, because in 1 gram of carbs, there's 4 calories, and that leaves us with 223 grams of carbs that we intake daily. So now, if you're on a fat loss journey and you weigh 160 pounds, you know that you should be intaking 1,920 calories for you to be in a calorie deficit. You should be intaking 131 grams of protein, 56 grams of fat, and 223 grams of carbs. If you want to skip over the part of how to calculate your macros and you just want a quick way of calculating yours, well, I'll leave my macro calculator in the description below so that you can access it for free. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll ask you to please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video where we take our client Natalie from being a busy mom who has no time for herself and constantly going on all these crash diets to losing over 20 pounds in just 12 weeks without spending hours in the gym, without spending hours on cardio machines, and still incorporating all her favorite foods.